top of the morning to you viewers and of course to Ilana.
Hi Kirsten, and hello to all in the wide world of Sasol.
In today's video we again travel far and wide,
bringing you news and events making news at Sasol over the last few weeks.
Today we report on the following.
Sasol opens its pilot retail convenience centre.
In a related story, Sasol Oil announced that it intends to merge with Excel.
News on how Comprax will be able to fix your PC without putting a foot into your office.
Sasol invests in arts and culture in South Africa at Art Club.
Mud, sweat and tears at the Sasol Mini Buyer competition.
And then, continuing on our Sasol World Tour, we visit Singapore.
However, before we move on to the inserts, short news is of the Sasol Honorary Rangers National Quiz, which took place recently at Letaba in the Kruger National Park. Quinton Gutierrez of 50/50 fame put the Rangers through their paces in the competition, aimed at improving the Rangers' knowledge of wildlife and environment. The Honorary Rangers this year issued a challenge to the national parks, which was accepted. To participate in the Rangers quiz next year, watch this space.
Other short news is of the official opening of the Sasol Red Bishop Bird Hide in the Addo Elephant Park near Port Elizabeth. The Algoa Region Honorary Rangers oversaw the construction of the hide, which is destined to be a popular addition to the park's infrastructure. While we were at the opening, 10 Dutch tourists were already utilising the venue. Happy birding!
Now we start with the inserts, and first up we visit Randburg for a look into the future as the wraps are lifted on Sasol's new retail convenience centres, RCCs. Now what may you ask is an RCC? All will be revealed. Watch this space.
RCC does not stand for Real Cool Customers. It stands for Retail Convenience Centres, a place not only to fill up your car, but also to look after the inner person. A pure delight. Project Frontiers recently reached its first milestone with the opening of its pilot site in Randburg, with an almost carnival atmosphere experienced by all the curious motorists who pulled in to experience some Sasol service firsthand. Fresh bread croissant for breakfast, sir? Don't mind if I do. It was all hands on deck as Sasol Oil staff ensured the day's activities went off smoothly. Hold on, here's another customer. Wonder what he wants. Something scrumptious for you, sir? Who's this then? A celebrity? Gunga Zulu. Let's see what he's doing here.
I'm here to sample the latest shopping, or should I say garage from Sasol. I must say, it looks like a spaceship, and I think it's the most awesome kind of filling station, and definitely it's not the last time I'm filling up here. And I'm glad that Sasol have come back to the party.
I like Sasol petrol, quite honestly. So when we saw it was a Sasol, I said to the wife, oh, let's go have a look-see at this place.
But otherwise, great place, looks lovely.
Well, I prefer Sasol diesel, you know, it's low sulfur. And we're from Maritzburg and we're off to Pillansburg Game Park.
I think the concept that they've got here is stunning. It's absolutely a beautiful concept.
And we had to stop and see the space. It looks stunning.
I think it will be a successful business. Everything will go right so far. The business is going, it's picking up every day. I've got no problem. I'm very happy with the shop, everything.
Coming to here, support. My son is working here, Joseph. It's a cashier there.
The free one's going to really taste good, I think.
I've been here before. We're just down the road and we're happy to see them here.
And secondly, I bought some buns here. Before, my family was mad about it. They really loved it. I think it's going well. I think we're very happy. The franchisee here is doing a great job, and things are picking up far above our expectations, so that's great.
We caught up with Arif Abraham and asked him for his impressions after a few days in business as the first Sasol RCC franchise holder.
It's a fantastic opportunity. I've grabbed the opportunity. I'm very happy. I'm very glad. And the Sasol network have been absolutely fantastic. They've been very, very supportive. They've helped, come show us the support, fill up here, and help us in the C-store. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've got a fantastic bakery inside. We've got a lovely store, and everybody is just marveling at the wonderful store we've had. It's got a very fresh look. It's superb. I've had people from overseas coming and saying that, you know what, it's probably one of the nicest convenience centers they've seen in the country. I mean, normally when you go to service stations, you normally find diesel on the one side, and then you've got unleaded and premium on your forecourt. Here, they've gone through with the concept of having turbo diesel, Super 100, and unleaded dual fuel on every particular island. So we've got 24 nozzles, and each island caters for all 3 products, which is fantastic. And yeah, Sasol are one. They've pulled together and they're doing a fantastic job. And I think they're going to shake the market. When they're up and running in 2004, when they do their rollouts, I think you're going to see a huge difference in the marketplace.
Looks great. Certainly has a futuristic feel to it.
And I'm told that the Sasol Delight has the best pies in Joburg. But fat food aside, the franchise owner has indicated that the Sasol RCC experience and the Sasol products on offer have been well received by the Randburg public.
Yeah, I must go past and grab a muffin while I fill up. We stay with fuel-related news.
And visit Sasol Limited for an important announcement. In a first step towards establishing an empowered liquid fuels business, Sasol Oil and Excel Petroleum have applied to the Competition Commission for approval to merge their businesses. Sasol Chief Executive Peter Cox said that if the merger is approved, the merged company, Sasol Liquid Fuels Business, will incorporate all of the liquid fuels interests of both Sasol and Excel Petroleum. Let's find out more.
It was smiles all round as Sasol and Excel management turned up for the early morning media briefing announcing the intended merger.
We particularly appreciate you being here so early in the morning. I know that many of you work late into the night.
Sasol Executive Director Pat Davies was first up at the podium and welcomed all to the media conference. After the welcome, he introduced Mrs. Tlakile Shongwane, who read out a statement on behalf of Jomo Sono, chairman of Excel.
Excel has a growing brand of loyal customers. And I know
Next up was Excel Petroleum Managing Director Morris Khadebe, who is MD Designate of the Fuels Marketing Division of the restructured company.
Today is one of those historical moments which we need to stop and pause.
After Mr. Khadebe, Hannes Buerta outlined how the new company will be structured, after which questions were welcomed from the journalists present. The merged business will consist of all the 2 companies' assets in the liquid fuels business and cover the entire value chain, including crude oil, procurement and blending components from Sasol Synfuels. All of Sasol Oil's and Excel Petroleum's assets in distribution and marketing will be added, as well as Sasol Oil's assets in the marketing and storage of fuel oil and its shareholding in companies such as Tosas and Fuel Firing Systems. After all the speeches, questions and answers, only time for smiles, handshakes and photographs for posterity.
Excel chairman Jomo Sono could not make the function. He was part of the delegation to try and get the Soccer World Cup for South Africa in 2010.
Moving on, we visit Potchefstroom and Aardklop, meaning literally Earth Beat or Earth Rhythm, an arts and cultural festival where Sasol is one of the sponsors.
Potchefstroom, 120 kilometers from Johannesburg, boasts a rich and varied historical and cultural heritage. It's also home to one of South Africa's most successful festivals, Aardklop, taking place each year in September. Aardklop's aim to create a festival that touches each person deeply, its mission to differentiate itself as a top-quality festival. Although Aardklop is inherently Afrikaans, it is universal in character, appealing to a broad spectrum of people. Sasol sponsors the classical music genre at Aardklop. This year, one highlight was the Aardklop Symphony Concert featuring Bizet's Carmen Ballet Suite. Sasol sponsorship at Aardklop this year was, however, not restricted to the stage, as Sasol Oil, Sasol Nitro and Sasol Limited joined forces to leverage the company's participation in the festival. On arrival in town, visitors could make use of the Sasol shuttle service, ferrying folk from venue to venue in immaculately turned out minibuses. Another novel feature of our participation this year was a partnership with the locally based Amelia Centre for Intellectually Impaired Adults, with Sasol funding the hire of a marquee for Amelia staff and children, as they are fondly called. in return for refreshments for our guests.
They do preparing as well as cleaning up, and they do it for hours non-stop with a smile on their faces. This relationship has worked wonders for Amelia. We couldn't have done it on our own, and with the sponsorship of Sasol, we can do so much more for the intellectually impaired.
Local music students added a touch of class. Sasol Nitro's Sever Skolts explains how Sasol used Art Club to entertain clients.
The people saw it on TV and everywhere in the newspapers, and there's a lot of people that come here, and they saw that Sasol is with Art Club in Potchefstroom, and on last Wednesday I catered for about 90 people over here. It's unbelievable.
All in all, a good time was had by all, and he is looking forward to next year.
That looks like fun.
Yeah, maybe we should visit it together next year.
Only if I can dance in Carmen in a tutu. What a thought. Let's move on and find out more about this year's Sasol Mini Buyer competition, with 37 local and international teams testing engineering excellence.
As usual, day one at the Durotech test facilities near Hartbeespoort Dam. Loads of excitement. The detail from Skalk Els, the organizer of Sasol Mini Buyer.
The Mini Buyer competition internationally originated in America in 1976, so it's 26 years old now. We started at the University of Pretoria in 1996 as an internal competition with only 4 cars from Tux competing. And 2 years later it grew to 8 cars and then 12, and we are between 30 and 40 cars now, 34 cars in this year's competition. Well, fun is definitely part of it, but it's a very good engineering learning experience. The students learn to go through the complete design cycle, from getting a set of rules, which is a design specification, designing the cars, building the cars, testing them in the competition, and see how well the design works in real life. The main design specifications are that they have to use a standard 7.5 kilowatt Brixton industrial engine. They are not allowed to modify anything on the engine, so everybody are on equal terms as far as that goes. The vehicle must have 4 wheels. Apart from that, it must be a rugged off-road single-seater vehicle with given safety specification. Most of the rules are safety rules. Most of the design is open to the ingenuity of the students. Ingenuity plays a big part in the competition. It's not always the teams with the most money. A little bit of money helps. If you get more money, you can do more things, you can buy better components, but at the end of the day, it's the skills of a student team that's the determining factor. Money alone is not enough. I think it gets more and more difficult every year because the standards of a car really go up. We have much better cars now than we've seen 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. So it's very difficult to predict. Experience has told us that the endurance race, the team who wins the endurance race normally wins the competition. So the decision is not final until the last flag blows.
And we're going to show you the endurance race in our next episode of Sasol News Video. But as Skalk said, the emphasis is on design and safety, including how quickly you can get out the Mini Buyer, little buggy, space frame vehicle, if need be. But what really makes the competition important, relevant for the teams from around South Africa and of course around the world, this year including a team from Iran who made the special trip to take part in Sasol Mini Buyer 2003.
He says it's very safety, the seat is comfortable and is adjustable, the engine is very easy to take off and put on, and something like the shock absorber is very small and very good, and is very comfortable, that's all. This is the first time we attended this competition. I don't know about the chance. I hope, as a head of this group, we will be between 1 to 10.
The suspension, a lot of design emphasis went into suspension settings, getting it to run correctly, getting the right rates, both front and rear. And then just making sure that we got the right parts, made the right parts, got the right strengths, just made the car reliable. So we did look at sort of the go-kart type steering with the triangular format, because it gives you quite good anti-Ackerman steering.
There is no set rules for this type of car. You don't find it.
So what we opted for is we use the double wishbone suspension on the front. We test the car. The car was designed in such a way so you can adjust the angles, always adjust the angles. And then we run the car, we test it, we see what happens, and then we have a standard set of numbers now for the which angles to use on this car. And at the back, the important thing here is we only use one. You can see here, we only have one universal joint. But if your lining up on the chassis is perfect, then it doesn't break.
Basically a balance of compromises, you know. Suspension travel, if the cost is too high, the cornering may suffer a bit depending on how the suspension is set up, etc. So you just have to decide, look, this is what we want to prioritize on, and then you set up the car to do that. The shocks are our own innovation. They don't use a spring. They use compressed nitrogen for the springing action. So by setting the pressure, you set the right height. And otherwise, it's got conventional oil inside, like as a normal oil damper with the pistons, etc. So we've set the damping rate, etc., as you would on a normal shock, only that it's got gas instead of a coil spring.
The rack and pinion is also a new design. We used an SLS part, is where you literally grow throw powder and you burn with a laser a shape in, and then you build it layer by layer. And we actually an experiment. We tried to see how strong it is. So we wrote it into the competition.
Well, just because it has always been my dream just to build a car. I was one of the guys that designed the car and the build of the car, the whole body framework. Yeah.
I think the suspension is one of the best. Yeah. It's almost like the quad bike, and okay, you can see the travel on the suspension with the longer wishbones. It's going to do good, yes. And well, we've got a nice gearbox as well.
You can see it. So our suspension is very good.
The other thing that makes this car make us to win is the CVT, the way it has been mounted. Then even the suspension reduces the weight, even the steerability is going to be easier. Even this rubber then, it's soft, which means we have a lot of comfort.
And I was basically involved with the transmission. And primarily we've been working on the marketing side of it, you know, arranging sponsors for it, and we've worked on the transmission. Well, all this has infused a feeling that nothing is impossible. Basically, it has come from ground zero, okay? First of all, we started off, we had to go to a foreign land and race it there. So, you know, we never thought it would be possible, but because of a team captain, you know, he really infused in us the spirit that anything is possible. So now we are with that spirit, you know, and we're going to win this competition.
And spirit is what it's all about too in the competition. Part of the technical tasks on day one at Duratec included hill climbing, acceleration tests, and a bit of braking here and there too. Day two of the competition would go to the Swartkops Off-Road Academy near Pretoria, where the fun was going to last for 4 hours. But who would be the ultimate winner? We'll tell you and show you more next time around on Sasol News Video.
Lana, I'm nominating you to represent Sasol Synergy in next year's race.
And get a free mud pack treatment in the process? Sorry, no can do. Let's stay with technology and find out about the PC remote troubleshooting service.
Good day, colleagues. In this year of consolidation for Sasol, Group IM has two drives: to realize value and to reduce cost. We have already implemented standard platforms like Compact for the hardware and Microsoft on the software. That will allow us now to reduce the cost of support. Group Information Management has signed service level agreements with Comprex Africa based on world best practices. Your support is required to make this work on concepts like remote support as well as affordable service level agreements.
Our objective is to support Sasol globally and to provide world-class IT support to all the users out there. One of the changes that we're bringing about is the ability to remotely support users, and that brings down the support time dramatically. Traditionally, it took 5 hours in some cases to provide elements of support, which we can now do in 5 minutes. This means that some of our technicians are situated in Midrand and remotely supports the users without being physically at your desk. One of the backbones in providing this service management is the Central Service Management Center in Midrand, sometimes called the SMC. The Service Management Center in Midrand has two components, the Command Center and the Service Desk. Let's take a look at the Command Center. This is where we globally support Sasol's IT infrastructure on a 24-hour basis. That infrastructure includes your email, your network equipment, the file servers and your business critical applications. The Command Center you as a user will typically not be aware of. In the background, this uses very sophisticated technology that monitors and understands exactly what is happening in your IT infrastructure. The service desk then is the part that you as a user would be interacting with in placing a call for assistance. In this case, Pietro needs assistance to get access to a color printer on her floor in 12 Baker Street. She places the call agent on the other side answers the call, routes that call to the planner, and the planner will then make sure that the next available technician goes to assist Pietro in 12 Baker Street. The call eventually gets to the technician. He gets in his car, he drives out to Pietro and assists her to give her access to the color printer. That all normally takes about 5 hours to complete. In this case, this was urgent, and we can do that a lot faster with our new support model. Today, with remote support, Pietro's incident is promptly taken care of in a much more efficient way. Pietro's call is answered directly by the technician. He would need to confirm, however, that Pietro is a Sasol user. He would ask her for her workstation serial number and her login name. The technician locates then Pietro's workstation on the Sasol directory as being in South Africa, as being in Rosebank, and in fact in 12 Baker Street. The system would now prompt Pietro to make sure that she gives access for our technician to remotely support her. And the yes button on the screen will be available for Pietro to press when she's ready to give access to the technician. Once he has remote access to Pietro's workstation, he gives her access to that printer by guiding her through the process. As you can see, Pietro sees exactly what the technician is doing on the other side.
Okay, Pietro, can you just test to see if it's going to print a test page for me, please?
Pietro was helped in under 5 minutes. While she was witnessing exactly what the technician was performing on her workstation, she would be able to do that herself in future if she wishes. Remember, it may still be required for our technical support staff to be on site, especially in cases where there's been a hardware failure and you may need a swap out of your workstation. In all cases, 24 hours a day, call us at the call desk at 086 100 60 60 or email us with your particular request at 24help@comprexafrica.co.za.
It must be spooky when you see your mouse moving itself on your screen.
Yeah, but don't call Ghostbusters though, rather call your local Comprex help desk.
Now we again go abroad on a Singapore-bound flight and visit Sasol's office in that wonderful city-state situated below Malaysia, with Dr. Andrew Jarvis as our host.
We spoke to Andrew as he visited a tank farm at which Sasol stores products.
Well, Sasol Chemical Pacific is the regional sales and marketing arm for Sasol Chemical Industries. We would represent all of the industries of Sasol, the chemical industry side of the business, but predominantly solvents is sold from Sasol Chemical Pacific along with olefins and surfactants products. We've chosen Singapore as our primary hub. This has been the case for a few years now, and that's because of the volume of shipping that comes past Singapore. It's a very good strategic place to be. Plus, we also enjoy some significant volume of actual ex-tank sales to tank trucks from Singapore. The other reason for Singapore is to supply our secondary hub, which is in South China. We have the storage at Jiahodao in the Pearl River Delta near Hong Kong, and we have our other regional sales and marketing office based in Hong Kong. We also work quite closely with Sasol Japan, and I'm responsible for solvent sales for the whole Asia Pacific, including Japan, the whole of China, and of course Southeast Asia and Australasia. Our biggest end market is in fact in China. I would say at this point in time, somewhere between 45 and 50% of our product is going into China, our solvents products. And then the bulk of the remainder would be going into Korea and then Southeast Asia. In the last financial year, Sasol Chemicals Pacific, on the solvents alone, managed to turn over $100 million US. That was, well, in those days, that was about more than R1 billion. And in terms of volume, that was represented by 230,000 tons of solvents product. That's quite a significant achievement, and over the previous year, that represented a 40% growth in volume and over 30% growth in revenue. The other function for Sasol Chemicals Pacific is to act as the corporate regional office, and in that function we also supply IT services to other parts of the various offices in the region. There's quite a number of small little offices scattered around the region, including Australia, and we are aiming to have some of these offices tie into the IT infrastructure that we have at SCP in Singapore, and therefore reduce costs and improve efficiency of service. Singapore is a great place to live. It's actually very friendly to Westerners. It's very cosmopolitan. It's what some people call Asia for beginners. It's actually a very nice lifestyle, very suitable for children and families. Very good schooling as well. The decision to move the headquarters to Singapore has actually given us an opportunity to establish a fairly well-branded and large, decent office complex on the 6th floor of the Singapore Exchange Centre building. We have got now a large number of staff joined us, a lot of new people, a lot of Singaporean people, and we actually have a very nice office environment at the moment.
Thank you for that wonderful insight into Sasol's business in Singapore.
Singapore is of course home to chicken satay, those lovely kebab little chicken things smothered in peanut butter sauce.
Like the South African society.
You're making me hungry. Enough about food, and it's almost lunchtime, so let's conclude and go and get a bite to eat. It's competition time. In competition number 12, we asked for the name of South Africa's best loved ad.
And it seems we stumped you. We had answers like Gluck Gluck and Ferrari, which of course are wrong. It was the little boy ad. That means, like the lotto, we have a carryover with 2,000 Rand on offer in Sasol Synergy competition number 13. That's about €200 or $285, not to be sneezed at.
Today's competition question is, in Sasol Mini Buyer competition, what does the word buyer mean?
Answers per internal post to Sasol Synergy competition number 13 or per email if international to richard.hughes@sasol.com.
Well, that's all for now. Until next time, goodbye and good luck for the competition.
Bye.